The old gas station stood at the edge of town like a forgotten relic from a bygone era. Its rusted pumps and cracked windows hinted at years of neglect, yet something about it drew in curious souls like moths to a flame. One stormy night, a group of friends decided to explore the abandoned station. They laughed and joked as they made their way through the darkness, their headlights cutting through the rain. But as they approached the decrepit building, a sense of unease settled over them. Inside, the air was heavy with the smell of gasoline and decay. The floor creaked beneath their feet, and shadows danced along the walls. Suddenly, they heard a noise, a low guttural moan that seemed to echo from the depths of the building. Heart-pounding, they searched frantically for the source of the sound, but as they turned a corner, they came face to face with something unimaginable, a twisted figure, its eyes hollow and its skin pale as death. With a scream, they fled into the night, vowing never to return to the haunted gas station. On a lonely stretch of highway, a weary traveler drove through the darkness, the only sound the hum of his engine and the patter of rain on the windshield. Suddenly, he saw a figure standing by the side of the road, a young woman, her clothes tattered and her face obscured by the shadows. Feeling a pang of sympathy, the traveler pulled over and offered her a ride. She climbed into the car without a word, her eyes fixed on the road ahead. But as they drove on, the traveler noticed something strange. The woman seemed to fade in and out of existence, like a ghostly apparition. Panic rising in his chest, the traveler slammed on the brakes and turned to face his passenger. But to his horror, she was gone, leaving nothing behind but a cold chill in the air. Shaken, he sped away into the night, vowing never to pick up another hitchhiker again. In a remote town nestled deep in the mountains, a young couple set out on a romantic drive, eager to explore the breathtaking scenery that surrounded them. But as they crossed an old wooden bridge, something strange happened. The bridge seemed to vanish before their eyes, leaving them suspended in midair. Frantic, they tried to reverse course, but it was too late. With a sickening crunch, their car plunged into the abyss below, disappearing into the darkness without a trace. For years, locals whispered of the vanishing bridge, warning travelers to steer clear of its cursed path. But to this day, no one knows what became of the young couple who dared to cross it. In a quiet suburban neighborhood, a family purchased a used car from a shady dealership, unaware of the dark secret that lurked within its walls. At first, everything seemed normal. The car ran smoothly, and the family went about their lives without a care in the world. But as the days passed, strange things began to happen. Doors would slam shut on their own, and eerie whispers filled the air whenever they drove at night. No matter how many times they took the car to the mechanic, the problems persisted, driving a wedge between the once happy family. Desperate for answers, they turned to a local psychic who revealed the horrifying truth. The car was haunted by the vengeful spirit of its previous owner, a man who had met a grisly end on the very roads they now traveled. Terrified, the family sold the car and moved away, hoping to leave the nightmare behind them. But some say that to this day, the haunted car still roams the streets, searching for its next unsuspecting victim. Deep in the heart of the desert, there lies a stretch of road known as the Devil's Highway, a winding path lined with abandoned cars and forgotten dreams. Legend has it that those who dare to travel its treacherous curves are met with unspeakable horrors, their minds twisted by the malevolent forces that dwell within. One night, a group of thrill-seekers set out to conquer the Devil's Highway, their laughter echoing through the empty desert air. But as they drove deeper into the darkness, a sense of dread settled over them like a shroud. Suddenly, their car sputtered to a stop, leaving them stranded in the middle of nowhere. Panic rising in their chests, they huddled together praying for salvation. But as the hours passed, they realized that they were not alone. Something was watching them from the shadows, its eyes glowing with unholy fire. With a scream, they fled into the night, their minds shattered by the horrors they had witnessed. And though they escaped with their lives, they would never forget the terror of the Devil's Highway. As the sun rose on a new day, the stories of the haunted highway faded into memory, whispered only in hushed tones around campfires and late-night gatherings. But for those who had experienced the horrors firsthand, the scars would never truly heal, a reminder of the darkness that lurks just beyond the edge of the road. And so, the legend of the creepy true car horror stories lived on, a cautionary tale for those who dared to wander into